bum, 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 bum. Welcome to another episode of The Scoop. Tonight we have a very special show for you. We have Mr. Ross Karpelman of the House of Shock. If you're not aware, the House of Shock is one of the
most intense haunted houses.
It's always rated one of the top haunted houses in the world.
It's been in magazines like Playboy, The Rolling Stone, Maxim. It's been on the Travel Channel. It's been in almost every top horror haunted house competition out there. It's always topped in either first, second, or third.
Yes. So the House of Shock is celebrating their 25th year.
25 years.
And we have Mr. Ross here who's going to tell us all about a little bit of what we can expect there this year. And give us a little bit of the backstory of the House of Shock.
Yes. But before we do that, I just want to plug a book I've been reading lately, a few books.
Wait, you read?
Yeah, I read. There's a couple books. It's one book that's actually being turned into a movie directed by Steven Spielberg. It's called Ready Player One, written by Ernest Cline.
Okay.
And it's this reality, I wouldn't say post-apocalyptic, but where virtual reality has kind of taken over the world. Like, the advancement of technology has limited. There's no middle class. It's only the upper class and the lower class. And the Earth's so overpopulated, they live in things called stacks, where they just stack trailers up. And they just keep stacking up. People can't go sideways anymore. We got to build up. And we're so limited on resources. People go to school through something called the, what is it? The, oh my God, can't you remember? It's like a utopia type word. It's called the utopia. And you go to school, you do business. Everything is done through this one portal type login. You can play video games. You can watch movies. Everything is in this video game pretty much. And the creator of the video game puts his entire fortune and the creative rights of the video game up for grabs. And there's a corporation, and it's an ad-free game, by the way. Well, there's a corporation that wants, it's like Walmart of the fucking corporations.
Yeah.
They're paying video gamers to work for them to win the competitions. You have to get 3 keys, and it's like dungeon, and it's riddled. Ernest Cline riddles the entire book with pop culture references. One part he's going through Dungeons and Dragons, the original Dungeons and Dragons campaign. And then when he gets to the very end to face the undead king, he has to play Joust against the king. It just certain stuff like that. It's riddled with Harrison Ford references, Pac-Man. It's just insane. Like it's almost like a 80s, because the creator of the video game grew up in the 80s. So it's this entire Easter egg hunt. And then there's a few good characters who want to do right, and it's good versus bad. And that's my book of the week. I'm gonna start doing that.
Okay.
Highly recommend it. And that's Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. You can check it out on Audible, or you can check it out anywhere your books, Kindle,
bookstore,
library.
So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, here's our interview with Ross Karpelman. And we are back. Tonight we are joined by one of the originators of the House of Shock, Mr. Ross Karpelman.
How you doing, Pickle?
Doing good.
Good to see you, man.
This year, y'all are celebrating 25 years.
Yes. Yeah. I feel old.
It feels just like yesterday that y'all were doing the very first one.
To you, it does.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that
To me,
feels
not
like a
so much.
millennia. Um, for starters, if you've never heard of the House of Shock, it's traditionally one of the top-rated haunted houses in the world. I've seen it featured numerous times on the Travel Channel and like Rolling Stone, all
Yeah.
kinds of different publications.
Yeah, for sure.
To where y'all have had lots of coverage for it.
Yeah, for a haunted house, yeah.
Why don't you tell me a little bit? How did how did it come across to y'all when you were approached by all these different publications being like, hey, this haunted house is so kick-ass.
Yeah.
We got to cover it.
I know. Well, some of them came from, the metal community, the music community that we were all part of. So like being on the cover of Metal Maniacs and, whatever else we were on, I don't even remember. But that kind of came with that territory. And then, man, being in Rolling Stone, that was awesome. It's a classic picture, man. It's we're all in corpse paint, like black metal style. But yeah, it just kind of happened. It's just it took it in stride. I mean, I think the best one was doing Playboy when the Playboy Playmate came by and she was naked in my arms, and that's when I love my job. This is great. Yeah, she had nice buttocks and whatnot. But yeah, so I don't know. It's cool. It's cool to be recognized. It's cool to be in a position where you can talk about something that you're passionate about and that we're still passionate about.
So I know that it was originally started by, I think it was 3 or 4 of y'all.
Yeah. It was originally back in the day. It was Philip from Pantera, myself, and Jay Grashonet. Stephen R. Joseph, who is our other partner as well. He came in the next year, the second year in the backyard, in Carlin Benz's backyard, who just recently died, unfortunately. So, yeah, so it was us four, and then Philip kind of, went back to the music thing and didn't really have much time. He was touring so much in October. So he kind of bowed out about, around 2000 maybe. So 2001. And yeah, so it's been us three now, Steve Jay and myself. I've been kind of holding it together, I guess.
It's been 25 years.
25. Wait, how old am I? I was 23 when we started this.
Wow. And what drove y'all to decide we want to create a haunted house? I mean, was it
boredom.
When you were a child? Were you big into?
Yeah,
Halloween?
actually, I had my own haunted house when I was a kid. It was out here in Metairie off of North Turnbull, in my friend David's backyard, who's my only friend that I had. Big fat awkward kid, no friends. But so yeah, so we did something, and my dad built this dancing skeleton thing. It was just on like 2x4s, and it had like counter motors on either side dancing with string, and it was like one of those skeletons that you buy at Party City or whatever. And so that was in our first haunted house. I guess I didn't kind of know what was scary back then because I was getting sound effects from like my pinball machine and shit like that. It was a pinball machine. I got sound effects from that crap. But yeah, that was my first experience. Another experience I had that's kind of deep within me is there was this old like home or something. It was like I don't even know what the hell it was, to tell you the truth. I think it was like a boarding house or something like that. It was on Napoleon Avenue, like towards Magazine from St. Charles, like a block over from St. Charles. And my sister kind of brought me over there, and there was like this woman in a nightgown. I just remember this vividly as a kid, and she was putting out candles in front of her thing. I don't even know if it was Halloween or not. I have no idea, but it was Halloween time. I don't know if they were a haunted house or whatever they were doing, but she looked kind of like Lily Munster to me, which but it creeped me out, and I was like creeped out. And then we went to a haunted house at De La Salle, and that again, I was a kid, and it was funny, but yeah, so yeah, it was always been a part of my childhood, and seeing all the horror movies of the time, and like The Shining and The Exorcist, and Texas Chainsaw and all that kind of stuff. It was definitely left a imprint on me. So moving forward into our 20s, and kind of the lifestyle we had back then, just metal full force, and and I didn't start out as a metalhead. I started out as Depeche Mode and shit.
Right.
And I still love those bands as well. But I heard Slayer and I heard Merciful Fate, and I was like, oh, that's where I need to be. So we were all kind of around that, and kind of dancing around the scene there, and boredom, it's like, we're 23, Jay was like 25, Philip about the same, and just like, what do we do now? It's like, we don't want to go to Fat City and spend Halloween, it's boring, and we've done it, and certainly don't want to go to the French Quarter, and what are we going to do, just sit around here, and we want to scare little kids. We want to bring it back to what it was when we were kids.
Right.
So that kind of is a long answer to your short question. It was boredom, and we just did it in the backyard in a matter of days. In a matter of days, it came together.
And every year that I have been, it seems like there's more and more intricacies to the House of Shock. What would you say is one of your, if you could stamp it and say, yeah, this was my biggest improvement from one year to the next, what would you say that would be?
Man, there's been a lot of highlights. Well, I think the total rebuild that we did 2 years ago, when everybody gives a shit about, oh, you said you were closing, you're not closing. Well, we were going to close in 2014 or whatever it was. Yeah, 2014. We felt like we were getting stale, and we knew that in order to bring it up to date, we would have had to do a massive overhaul, and we simply didn't have the money to do it. One investor fell through. Luckily, we found another one, and we built 2 events. We did a Bordello of Freaks, which is exactly what it sounds, starring Scungiarelli as Seaman Scungy.
Yes.
Then we transferred into a 3D funhouse called Laugh in the Dark from Pontchartrain Beach.
Right.
We always try and base things around New Orleans. And then we built this entire facade that was fashioned after the Beau Mansion out in Araby, which had recently burned down at that point. So, and we always used to hang out by the rooms down there, in the practice rooms in the warehouse there, down in Old Araby, right there on the river, on the other side of the river. That's where Down came together, and Slowly Green practiced there, Graveyard Rodeo practiced there, everybody practiced there. So we used to go down and walk down by the old Beau Mansion and check it out, and go in and sneak around and trespass. But so we rebuilt that because it got burned down, and we worked that into the stage show where we had a couple of stoners that were broken in because the House of Shock closed down.
Which I think is still my favorite intro.
Is that your favorite intro?
That is my favorite intro.
What nailed it was the kids that we had. We had Gage Bro, and we had Raymond Rehaj, who Raymond is a stuntman now in the movies and stuff, and Gage is Larry Bro's son. I mean, good Lord,
And Raymond was Donald Trump last year.
Raymond was Donald Trump, and he was Jesus as well. One year on a cross, we rose Jesus up. But So yeah, what sold that show was we pre-filmed it from the vision of them, like with their own cell phone. But it was broadcasted on the video screens above, and they live reenacted it every night to the video track. So it was a little bit of trickery. People kind of thought, but they did it so perfectly in time that people thought that they were doing it live.
Right.
But it wasn't. So a little trickery. So they sold that show. That I thought was really good.
And then they started smoking pot and then re-enchanting some satanic verses. And then the part that Ross told me about is when you can actually, if you find the video, the part where they're running out of the house, you can hear Ross and shuffling in her shoes.
Yeah, because we didn't get that we didn't we didn't get like all the commotion of them running out of the house and stuff because we were putting on track. So me and Lewis from Dr. Pinkerton from
Yes.
GOG.
20 years of building that character and you just blew his cover.
Oh, my bad. Shit. Please edit that out.
Yeah, we'll bleep that out.
Yeah.
We have to go back. We have to bleep that out.
Man,
Shit.
I know. And you know what's weird is that you never see me and Lord Belial in the same room either.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Crazy.
I don't understand because I mean we cross paths. We're both in House of Shot.
Yeah.
So he and I were reenacting the shuffling of the feet and the running of all that, and we're retracking like all of our exasperated things. It's a very minor part of the show, but Devin brought it up. But yeah, so we go back and we do some audio trickery to make it work.
Hollywood magic.
It's Hollywood magic.
One thing that has always intrigued me with the House of Shock is that the group of people that are part of the House of Shock, it literally is a family.
It's our own cult.
You know,
It's
that's
It's like the Charles Manson cult.
you know that there's
But there's a lot more of us.
at least 100 people,
There's more than that.
you know, that are you know every year.
How many people usually volunteer every year, Ross?
How many people usually volunteer, or how many people actually do it, Devin? 'Cause it's two
How
totally
many
different
people
things.
will sign up a few months
All right,
beforehand?
we'll probably have about 300 to 350 people sign up.
How many
Wow.
people actually show up?
The people that we count on,
The diehards.
the diehards that we can know that'll be there on a Sunday, you know, during Hell Week where we're doing constantly going, and show up on a weekday when they have work in the morning and they live in Houma and they drive in every day. There's about 150 core people that we depend on, 150 to 180 people.
Wow.
That we can count on, that we call our A team, you know, and that's, you know, and they do everything from selling tickets at the booth, selling merch, working the concessions, our bar, you know, production work with the bands, plus all the actors that are you know, in the haunted house itself, which always is overpopulated.
Yeah, I've heard, you know, I mean, since I've known Devin, every year he'll tell us, you know, oh, this year I'm helping out with makeup. This year I'm helping out with costumes. This year I'm taking photos.
Yeah.
This year I'm doing tour guides. You know, this year I'm doing.
I
this.
didn't do tour guides. He's
Well,
made
but
that up.
You know what I'm talking about. That, you know, every year.
Hey, I
you're
got
interacting in a
most
different-
versatile. The award I got, most versatile. And then after I got that, I just chilled the fuck
Did
out.
you actually get a most versatile?
Most versatile because I would do makeup. Then I had like 6 characters in one season. I had
The
the
horse.
leprechaun. I had the hunchback. I had
The horse with the tuxedo?
the horse head. Then I did Kiss one night. Then I did
Yes.
I did Kiss one night.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
I did it though,
I'm glad.
and
you
I
did.
pulled it off. Well, that's when the French Quarter was
Weird.
run by someone else, and it wasn't vampires and stuff. It was
Yeah,
just a freak show of transsexuals and
That's when it was good.
and beer was
I'm
everywhere.
kidding.
And,
French Quarter kicks
yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
All right. So there you go, Devin. Thank you for bringing the entire interview down.
no problem.
So you'd mentioned bands. I know every night that y'all are open, y'all usually have a different band playing.
Yeah. So we're starting September 30th. We're doing a theme night, zombie prom. So if you come dressed as a zombie, you get $5 off admission. And there's a band out of Baton Rouge called Merriweather, and they were pretty popular back in the day. I guess kind of like a pop punk type band. They're reformed, and this is their only New Orleans show. They're reforming to play this show. They played, I think, like last year in Baton Rouge, and we're doing the zombie prom with them. And Remedy is opening up. They're a local cover band, really good kids. All of them, I think, are like 18 to 20, I think.
Adam is the drummer for Remedy,
Yes.
and also
Arbitrary.
Arbitrary that we just interviewed last week.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, so they're obviously talented. We got Riptide with Kyle from Zaldabra, and they're doing metal covers as well. We got an awesome Zeppelin tribute band from here called Mothership.
Yes.
Man, they're great. And another offshoot of them, Super Unknown, which is like a Chris Cornell band tribute.
Yeah, I saw them when they did the Cornell tribute at Southport Hall.
Yeah.
Southport Hall.
Hall. You got to get in on it. So yeah, and then we have AC/DC tribute band, Big Gun. They've come down practically every year. They're from Nashville. And then White Collar Sideshow from Arkansas.
Always love having them.
They're great. They come and they come in a camper and they just park and they just live in the camper.
And we feed them pizza.
We've given pizza and we take care of them, and they're really good. They're original band, all original. They're kind of industrial. They have like a couple of drum sets on and one of the guys wears a pig mask, and it's and it's T.D. Benton and his chick and Veronica, and the pig guy.
Big guy.
So I do know that there are several other haunted houses around that get word around, like Mortuary and the Seventh Gate or whatever, 13th Gate.
Seventh Gate, come on.
A few more gates in there.
Yeah. How would you say that House of Shock stands out above those?
I wouldn't say we stand out above them. 13th Gate, in my opinion, is probably the best haunted house in the country, in my opinion. Traditional haunted house. I think their sets are great. Their acting's amazing. Their makeup is great. But come see us anyway. No, Mortuary, another quality haunted house. In a historic, mortuary, old, it's
an old haunted or an old.
I actually used to deliver flowers for Villeries Florist, people. There you go. There's a plug for you. Right up the street. And I used to deliver to that funeral home, and I had to take a piss, so I go in the bathroom, and I didn't feel right in the bathroom. I'm telling you that right now. I felt somebody was watching me. Now, they may have had a peephole or something, and maybe one of those weird fucking embalming dudes.
Yeah.
You never know.
Right.
But I did feel like I was being watched by some sort of presence. But so Mortuary is good. They're really good, and they do what they do very well. What I think it makes us different is we're more of a festival atmosphere. We have, first of all, we have a bar. We're the only haunted house in at least the country that has its own bar. The only one. And the way we define that is it's New Orleans. I mean, you got to involve alcohol and everything. So we have a bar. We have, a lot of different killer food items, and we have bands playing every night, something that other haunts don't do. We've always done it. We have an amazing pyrotechnic stage theatric show that is different every year and follows a theme.
Yeah, I remember one year, one that always sticks out is with the intro. Just before you went in, there was giant flames that were coming up from the stage.
Yes, it's an amazing. It's hot as hell up there too.
Yeah,
and you can feel all those flames down the street.
Down the street. Well, first off, the best part is the initial start of the show, the bang bang bang. People fucking jump every single time.
The traditional bang bang bang. You got to watch because we'll be on the radio and count down and 3, 2, 1, and you got to pick out somebody that's got like a drink or popcorn in their hand because it goes all over them, which is a marketing tool because then they can just go buy another one.
Yeah. But at the very end, you'll be standing on the street, stage center, and you'll be feeling the heat from there. You'll see the insects frying pretty much.
Yeah.
And then Ross is a foot away from it.
Yeah, with explosions all around me, and yeah, it's
burning hair.
I always smell like burned hair when I come off the stage, but it's a passion. But yeah, so what makes us different is our cast. Our cast is extremely energetic, especially being in that hot warehouse for hours at a time. Always put their heart and soul into everything, and they're there because they want to be. They're all volunteers. And I think, again, that transfers into our presentation. No one is there because they're getting a paycheck.
Right.
They're there because they want to be there, because they're inspired and they're having a good time, and they're usually their families with them. We have whole families that are in there, mother, daughter, kids, extended family, friends. We're a tight-knit circle, that's become kind of like a bigger circle. And yeah, I think that's what makes us different, for sure.
Do you see? How do you see the future of haunted houses? Do you see any differences?
The future of haunted houses. That's a good question, actually. I think the future. Well, you've seen these escape rooms kind of pop up,
right?
Okay. Some of our guys are doing some contracts for another company. Dead House Designs is an offshoot kind of us. They're just Dave Carey and his team work real hard, and they started their own design company, and they're designing escape rooms all around the country and the world. And so I see kind of that happening, and I don't know if that's going to be the future of haunted houses, making it kind of more like where you have to kind of, it's almost like, American Ninja Warrior, where you got to, kind of be more interactive with it. There's also a place in San Diego, I'm not even going to say their name, but they're calling themselves a haunted house, but really, I think the dude might have a problem, like a sexual S&M problem, because basically what he does is he tells people to come to this house. He's in a neighborhood in San Diego, I believe. And he lures people to his house. They pay money to go to his house. There's a waiting list a mile long, and they subject you to 4 hours of torture, basically.
Wow.
So it's like
sexual torture?
There's some smacking involved, I believe. I think they kidnap you at some point, to bring you in there, or I don't even know. There's all kind of different stories. That, to me, is not a haunted house. That's not a traditional haunted house. That's some dudes getting paid for an S&M session. Honestly, I mean, it's but anyway. So I think it's probably going to be more of an interactive experience, which is something that kind of we pioneered, because haunted houses across the country, the golden rule was never touch your customers.
Right.
Now you're starting to see haunted houses, and we abolished that immediately. We immersed everybody in the set. We were the first to call ourselves an interactive haunted house. And that's what it is, because we interact the crowd into our scene. So you're immersed by all,
right,
all
right.
angles.
Yes.
People coming up from the top, people flying out over your head, all that kind of stuff. And so other people have kind of run with that and done really well. And I've seen some great haunted houses across the U.S. that are kind of, stepping up their game because, I'd like to say it was because of us, but maybe not.
Well, I know over the years, y'all have collaborated with different bands and different shows and things of that nature, to where it has been the scene for different recordings. Do you have one that sticks out in your mind as
recordings at House of Shock itself?
I think Monster by
Monster. Don't tell my mom. By Mystical.
By Mystical.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he did perform that, didn't he?
Yeah, he played it live.
He played it live. Mystical came and performed his big hit Monster with what's your boy's name? Fifth Ward Weeby,
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And we had Tessie in the video. We had
Yeah.
Mom and Pop in the video.
Yeah. A lot of videos have been done. We did a gore video, which I think is probably one of our highlights. We did a gore video there for Eighth Lock. And actually, we're going to be releasing a lot of this stuff through our YouTube channel and through Facebook as well, with kind of color commentary with Jay and Steve and myself. We're going to talk about gore. We're going to talk about all the Travel Channel stuff and the time we were on WWL, the lead story on WWL in 2000. So we'll kind of do a retrospective in video over our 25 years coming up soon.
I do know over the years there's been a little bit of controversy surrounding House of Shock, to where I know that some people kind of got a hairy eye per se.
There are protesters and whatnot.
with regards to the
Satanic.
the satanic and demonic feels
I
of
don't understand where they
the
would
House
get
of
that
Shock.
from.
There's
since
pentagrams everywhere. And
I don't
upside
get
down
it.
crosses, crucifixion of Jesus Christ,
I
the
don't
Lord and
understand what you're
Savior.
saying. When we were poking the inverted Jesus with a stick, children were doing that. When kids were doing that,
You guys gave birth to the
we
Antichrist.
did give birth to the Antichrist, but I don't understand where they would get that connection. No, we've had protesters out there, and free speech. We embrace them. We give them water. That whether or not they drink it or not. But I guess that all started back in our second year in Carlin's backyard, because we were right across the street from a church in this neighborhood back off of Transcontinental and Jasper Street. So they break into the haunted house with the priest, and they throw holy water and salt on the props and stuff, and in our satanic chamber or wherever the hell it was. So I guess it could, we put a bad taste in people's mouths back then, because we were all about Evil Dead and all about Exorcist and the bands that we listened to, Slayer, all the black metal bands and all that stuff. I mean, shit, I was in a black metal band at that point in time. So, to say that it's serious, all you got to do is watch a stage show and see how serious it is. It's totally campy, funny stuff. Because, I say, I'm more of a comedy fan than I am a horror fan,
And you guys usually have, around the election time, have a political twist to it.
Yeah, well,
like this past
we do
year.
spoof elections, yeah. The first one, we did a long one a long time ago back when Bush was running, and, I had a pulpit and all kind of stuff. Actually, I have that the stained glass from the pulpit framed in my at my house, and it went through Katrina and everything. It just looks better. It just looks more worn out. But we did one for Obama and McCain, which I thought was a real good one because I casted like newscasters and stuff like that, like a fake news report. We did one last year for the biggest spoof of them all, the election itself. That was a spoof. The Hillary and the Donald, which it gives you a little different take on. If you were to elect a Satanist for president, what that might look like. So, we've spoofed elections. Last year we threw Trump into the pit of hell. It was going to be Hillary, but the prop that we had that came up was obviously a male prop. So, we had to...
Would you say that you predicted the election, the outcome of the election, by doing that?
I would say that we probably helped
yes.
guide the right person into office.
Yeah.
From that view, I guess.
So, over the years, do you have one particular favorite scare of all time, to where like one person that you
Best
saw
scare.
go in and 10 minutes into the house, they're snotting on themselves, crying.
All right.
And
yeah. Okay, there's one that was actually a couple of years ago, and it was a night that it was raining. So we didn't do the stage show or any of that stuff. So I'm kind of just roaming the house, and there was this room in the bordello of freaks, where all it was, you couldn't really see. It was like a strobe light just kind of strobing every now and then. It smelled like animal shit in there, because we that's a big part of it. We try to make everything, immersive.
Realistic.
So you got to smell, if it's supposed to be we called it the piggy torture room. And I had like a pig prop on a rope, and it was soft, so, and all I was doing is sitting in the corner, and I was making a sound that you could only kind of equate with like someone with severe cerebral palsy or something like that. Just this sound that just was, like I was mentally deficient in some kind of way. I don't know if cerebral palsy people are mentally deficient. How's the PC way to say
Yeah, I know what you mean, like to where-
retarded?
yeah.
Anyway, sorry. So I was making this noise and throwing this pig at this one kid, and who was like, "What the fuck is that? What is?" And he was like tripping out. I think he might have been on acid, possibly. Anyway, he was like backing himself up into a corner, and the whole line is getting backed up behind him. So, and this is my perfect opportunity. At one point, I get up, and I'm in full makeup, and I'm a large man. I'm 6'6", 300 and whatever pounds, and a man of my girth standing up and towering over this kid when he's already scared of the pig, and I get him down, and he's like on the ground in the corner, and I'm over him, like, and I'm going, "You're going to hell," and all this, all, you're, gonna die, and all this fucking stupid shit, whatever I was saying, making noises once again, and he just, I think he had to be carried out after that room. I'm pretty sure that he got carried out. That's a story that I got because I went back to
Right, yeah,
scaring
you
him.
had to go to
Yeah.
scare the next person. But
From what I heard from our people inside, he was carried out very shortly after that. So I'm proud of that. You got to be proud of that. Other moments, Levi Clark, who plays the televangelist, he's got so many classic lines that I couldn't even begin. And he does a stunt every year, some kind of thing. We always blow him up. Every year he gets blown up, which is kind of like a running joke for us. So we have a lot of inside jokes that we just do for ourselves. And so that's my ultimate scare moment.
Who's the coolest celebrity you've seen since over the years? Like it was like, I don't know.
Well, I mean, we've had celebrities come.
Do you still get that kind of
starstruck.
starstruck? Do you ever get starstruck? Have anyone?
I'm never starstruck.
Never?
No.
You are a celebrity in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Sorry. I don't get starstruck. It's just not in me. I've never been an autograph hound or anything like that. I've been. I met Ozzy and Tony Iommi and shit, and I was a little, I'm like, damn, that's Ozzy.
Yeah.
That's Tony Iommi right there. Geezer Butler. So yeah, but that wasn't at House of Shock. People that have come to House of Shock, Trent Reznor,
Will Smith.
Will Smith was there. Oh, Margot Robbie from Wolf of Wall Street, hot ass. Oh my God. She went up and did a thing with the Reverend. She pulled the nail out of Reverend's, or the nail out of his nose, or something, right? So, we've had some A-listers there. We had Ashley Simpson, Jessica's sister, and the dude that she was dating from whatever band that was. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that, you know who my favorite celebrity is? The guy who plays the Dick Sergeant in the Police Academy movies.
Oh, Bailey. I know who you're talking about.
He used to come every year with the Sunshine Kids.
Right.
So we used to get them all in, and they all would line up, and that made us feel good, doing stuff like that. So yeah, he would be my favorite celebrity that came. And
Are you sure it wasn't Billy the Exterminator?
Oh my God, dude, Billy the Exterminator. that was an experience. What made that experience fun, and I talk about it in the retrospective. Well, I don't give the entire story in the retrospective. I give the G-rated story in the retrospective. But everybody Billy went out with some of our cast after the big shoot at the haunted house.
He caught the possums.
Well, the possums were caught. But the ironic part was that, so Billy is now, we're closed, all the doors are shut, and we see the VexCon truck is out front still. And so Billy is in the haunted house, walking around drunk out of his mind. So we're having to get him out of there because, first of all, he's got to go back. He's got to get up in the next morning and do more production.
Right.
So it's like 4 a.m. at this point. Sun's about to come up, and Billy's like lost in the haunted house. So now we're on radios trying to track Billy in the haunted house. So it's very ironic, a little twist of, the tables there, where we're actually trying to exterminate Billy out of the haunted house. But yeah, so that was fun. That was fun. We've had a lot of fun over the years. A lot of fun.
From my understanding, y'all have a couple other events that are y'all are working on right now with
Some new events.
Yeah, we have a new event. For the 25th season, we can't just, go and limp in with that. So we totally retooled our Bordello with Freaks and made it into a wax museum. It's called Kantai's House of Wax. And, we're paying tribute to, first of all, we're paying tribute to Musée Kantai, which was a wax museum down in the French Quarter forever and recently closed.
Yeah, it closed within past year or so.
Like 2 years or something like that. And we went, when it was that last week, and we're like, man, this is just, it's like a capsule in time, because I remember going there as, as a third
Yeah, I remember
grader.
going,
with
third
school,
and fourth grade.
Yeah. And what made it cool was that it was all based around Louisiana history and Louisiana lore. And then they had the haunted area where you went in, where they had like Frankenstein and all the other stuff. And I remember as a kid being scared of going in there. So, and I always remember the Phantom of the Opera, and I used to trip out on the Phantom of the Opera, man. I did, not the gay Broadway show, the actual movie, the Phantom of the Opera.
Right.
So, the way he looked in that, and they perfectly had that in wax, and I remember just being creeped out. So we went back and revisited that in our 40s, it still brought back those same feelings, where it's like, man, this is just like, it's a capsule in time. So we remembered that, and we said, we'd like to bring this back. So this year we kind of focused it more around our grisly past. And of course, Morgus, the Magnificent,
Yes.
Sid Noel, he's man, that's another one. When Sid used to come back around by House of Shock when we were in the old location and come hang out, and he sold like his DVDs and stuff. That was cool. That was like, oh man, we made it. I was like, Morgus is here.
Morgus is here. Yeah.
But so we have a Morgus area. We have we recreated his set. Actually, we're going to get his actual set tomorrow, the one that he used on the show.
On the show. Wow.
We're getting that tomorrow. So, and we're doing, the little Laurie Mansion, which has a horrible history. The Myrtles, we're recreating kind of one of the legends out of that plantation. We're doing, Marie Laveau, obviously. You gotta Rougarou, So it's gonna be it's Louisiana and New Orleans based, and that's what we try and keep, in our theme, because we're here and we love our city, So the Kantai House of Wax is gonna be a hit.
Do y'all ever get worried that you're going to create such a perfect haunted house that you'll be thinking to yourself, there's no way that I could top this?
There's always a way you can top it. There's always the next level to bring it to, I think. It's boundless, I mean, there's only so much more pyrotechnics we can do, there's only so much, but what I think amplifies the haunted house and myself personally is the energy of our cast. It's limitless. These guys, really, really take it to the next level.
Plug the mug. Picklescoop.com.
That's right.
Scoop.com.
How have you guys adapted with the flood of social media and the internet in recent
I have
years?
no idea. No clue.
No clue. Still don't. You have people doing that.
We got people.
You have people.
They're not necessarily doing it, but we do have people
Yes.
that are there.
They're tasked out to do it.
Yes.
If they do it, you don't know.
If they're doing it, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm not from... If I would have been born 15 years later, maybe I might have known something, but I'm lucky I can open my email.
Well, I know that y'all are all over on Facebook, Twitter,
We are.
Instagram, Snapchat.
Whatever that is.
So everybody can check y'all out.
We have a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, YouTube,
Yeah.
at House of Shock, pretty much on all of the above.
Yes. So yeah, as far as the way it works, I have no idea. They bring up Google Analytics and all this crap, and I'm like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you know anything about that? Because I don't.
Oh yeah, it's
How does it work?
well, the big thing is to get it to where when people are looking up certain keywords,
Right.
you want to be the number one thing
Yeah,
that gets
someone
listed.
For us,
in our
it's
case,
pickle.
Halloween.
Yeah,
For you, it would be
Halloween,
pickles.
haunted house.
Yeah.
A
A scoop.
Yes.
Ice
The
cream
scoop.
scoop, possibly, or a pickle on a cone.
It is so hard being the top scoop because so many people
Isn't there
try.
a website called The Scoop?
We're called. I think
Well,
there's
we have
people.
we have the Scoop Show, but one of the challenges that I experience, especially with like iTunes and particularly, is that there are so many shows called The Scoop
Right.
that it sometimes it makes it difficult for people to find us online.
So I have a question. How did you become Pickle Scoop?
Well,
This story.
that came from my scout camp. When I first started working scout camp, I was a little hyperactive kid. And rather than give me anything of importance to do, they'd be like, oh, go move this from here to there. Go, bullshit work to keep me busy.
Scoop that up over there.
Well, the way that I was raised was if I wasn't working, I wasn't earning my keep.
Okay.
And that they would send me home. Well, the way that I saw it was I was having a good time when I wasn't working in the evenings and stuff, hanging out with my friends and all that,
Right.
that I wanted to make sure that I was putting my best foot forward.
Sure.
So I would go
Like
and
a good
ask,
scout.
what else can I do? What else can I do? Well, ironically, every time that I would need to go ask what else needed to be done, the camp director would always be at the kitchen checking to make sure, hey, is dinner going to be on time? Is lunch going to be on time? Do we have enough food for 50 extra people
Right.
or however many people extra they were planning for that evening? And eventually I started getting more in the way than I was helping. And he was like, God damn it, get out of my way. You're about as useless as a pickle scoop. And it's like, well, a
that
pickle
a
scoop,
term?
what's that?
What's a pickle scoop?
And basically it was explained to me, you go look in your utensil drawer in the kitchen and you've got, a spatula, a pizza cutter, a noodle spoon.
Yeah, right.
And then you have those handful of bullshit weird utensils that you've gotten over the years
Sure.
with some utensil kit or something.
Like the
Well,
little mini whisk thing.
Yeah.
that's Like, but it's not like in a whisk form. It's just like spread out like that.
Right.
Where the hell do you use that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To where he was like, those useless things that are in the way when you're trying to get to the pizza cutter, you're one of those useless tools right
It's
now.
a pickle
I'm trying to
scoop.
get to the pizza cutter, and you're in the way, buddy.
It kind of reminds me of a scene in the movie Sleepaway Camp, the original one. Are you familiar? It's a twisted story, but there's a scene similarly with the chef and the kids getting in the way, and all of the chef is kind of dicking them off. But yeah, that's interesting. Everybody's useless
Yeah.
as pickle scoop.
Show him the tattoo.
The tattoo, the
Oh,
pickle scoop
good
tattoo.
Lord.
Boom!
There you go.
And there it is.
There it is. A scoop of pickle.
Yep.
Very nice, man. Very nice. I just have a couple of Floriles.
What's the hardest part about marketing a haunted house like the House of Shock in New Orleans, and the biggest issues of running this type of business in this day and age?
That's a very good question, Devin.
Thank you.
I know why pickle keeps you around here.
Yes.
It's really good. Marketing in New Orleans. First of all, you're going against
Everything.
You're competing against New Orleans itself. French Quarter, Frenchman Street.
Festivals.
Festivals every weekend,
Fucking
especially in October.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got Gretna Fest now in the beginning of October. You got
Voodoo.
Voodoo Fest in the end of October.
got
Especially
Oktoberfest.
Halloween
You got
weekend.
Oktoberfest. You got all the school fairs as well. So that's a lot to battle right there to get them out to Elmwood,
Yes.
underneath the Huey P. So that's hard in itself. Marketing for me, again, I'm old school, so I'm thinking radio, billboards. And we still do that. We still do radio. We still do billboards because I'm afraid not to, because I just don't know what will happen.
There's a target market there still for you.
Yeah. So you got to break it down to demographics and all that stuff of, who actually is going to come, who can afford to come, that kind of stuff. And, so I think our sweet spot is like college kids and up, excuse me. I don't think we're necessarily more for families. I think families kind of think that we're too out there for
that y'all are a little too dark for
a little too dark, and
for the little ones.
and there are a lot of people in the industry that feel that maybe we're kind of stifling ourselves by doing that, but we're true to who we are, and as long as we're the House of Shock, there's going to be that element, because we may be kicking ourselves in the ass, but we respect ourselves, and and at the end of the day, it's all about us again. So whether or not people come, we're going to have a good time. Now, if people don't come at all, it's going to be bad. But people are still coming, and and I think we're as viable today, and especially now with where a lot of issues are kind of played out. So I think
It's hard to be original.
well, it's kind of hard to compete and stay shocking.
Mm-hmm. I feel like teenagers today are just kind of desensitized
Absolutely.
compared to 50 years ago, where our brains would fucking
Your generation grew up
explode.
with the internet.
Yeah.
Where you can have anything you want. You think about whatever you want and you can see it.
Kids are watching Colombian fucking videos on the dark web, executions of people, ISIS and all that.
See, back in our day, we had to watch Faces of Death and watch fake shit, to even feel like we were watching a snuff film.
People need to watch real shit now. That's what teenagers are growing up on.
ISIS puts out a new video every,
I know.
I need their marketing
hits on
campaign.
YouTube. I mean, it's so hard to compete with ISIS.
Man, that's our main competitor, ISIS. House of Shock. We're not ISIS. No. I don't know how to answer the question about marketing in New Orleans. All I can say is whatever we're doing is what we're doing, and we do the amount of people that we do. It's not as many as most. It's not as little as some. So we kind of have our own groove there, and we march to our own drummer, and we do our own thing. And you come to House of Shock to experience something that you've never seen before, and probably will never see again.
Yeah, and every year it's
and if you have been there before, they have recently changed it. So come back.
Man, I need you on my marketing team.
I'm just saying, it's plain and simple, people.
How much you pay him?
Pickles. He just feeds me in
Jambalaya.
fucking pickles.
Jambalaya and pickles?
I
Jambalaya
swear to
and
God, he feeds me in jambalaya, chicken salad, water, and pickles. gas station pickles in the bag.
Can I
Yes.
get you to move in my house and just kind of take care of things?
And cut the grass
Cut the grass?
every like few weeks. I might miss a week though and let it overgrow too much.
Yeah, so maybe you're not hired for that.
No.
Next question, Pickle.
Well, I think that was about all of
Was
the
that it?
questions that I had for you.
Devin, anything from you? No?
That's it. I mean, I was
So we-
kind
yeah,
of
so
bored
again-
there.
Where can people check y'all out?
Oh, yes. can
You
come
got that
to-
Twitter.
We got that Twitter at House of Shock. We got that Facebook, House of Shock, Haunted House.
That is
you know,
Facebook.com/HouseShot.
well, thank you, Devin.
problem.
What else do we have? Because let me know, because I have no
Uh,
idea. Instagram.
Yeah,
Your
Instagram at House of
Instagram.
Shock.
You actually have the House of Shock website.
We do. That's
You do.
houseofshock.com.
It
was
is.
just recently updated. And
Yes.
we might actually have tickets up there by now.
I am looking at it right now, and I will tell you, tickets.
Not up.
Tickets.
They're not up. I know they're not up.
No, not up.
I know. They will be very
But you
shortly.
can contact Lord Belial at lordbelial@houseofshock.com
And he
or
might get
call
back to
him
you.
call him 504-641
Yeah, I
and
gotta-
ask him about the tickets and admission info.
Yeah,
General
641
admission $30.
Evil, and they'll give you all the information from last year.
Yeah. what
That's why our marketing sucks, because of me.
what do people get for the VIP tickets? $55.
Well, what you do first of all is you get to skip a line.
That line is fucking
And
long.
yeah, the line is long.
Goes all
It's
the way
a
Every
down the
time
street.
that I've been, the line is going
If you-
But,
if
like
but
you
we
don't
keep you
block
entertained
long.
though.
Yeah.
We keep you
Oh, yeah,
entertained
yeah.
while you're in line. So there's people walking around. You can get off on watching. People watching. You watching other people get scared, and watching other people kind of take in the scene. We show movies up on the screen, a bunch of old horror clips. Some sadistic shit up there. Then we do our stage show with all the pyrotechnics. We have, bands outside, bar, whatever. So, you don't feel like you're there as long. But if you don't want to wait in line, you can go right up to the VIP spot. It puts you right to the front of the line. You're closest to the stage for the pyro. It's, I think it's worth it if you don't want to take in everything. If you just want to do it and get the hell out of there and go to the next one or go get dinner or whatever you want to do. But yeah,
I think it's totally worth it, unless you want to show up there at 5.
before we open, yeah.
5 before you
Get in
guys
line.
open and wait in that line.
Yeah.
I think that would be better, but I would recommend
Save
taking
you-
your time.
Save you $20.
I recommend
25
recommend taking your time getting there. Spend the extra $25. Get the VIP ticket. Don't you get a little gift bag?
No.
You don't get that anymore?
No.
No gift bag?
No-
The
no
water
gift
bottle
bag.
and all that?
No, because we kept running out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, so people got pissed. So we're
Where's my
like,
fucking gift
"Where's
bag?
the gift bag? Give my gift bag." No. So, no, we don't do that anymore.
No gift bags. Okay.
You get to the front of the line.
But
and
you
that's
get to
more-
the
and
front of the
that's-
line.
Honestly, you get more outside than you'll get at any other haunted house before you even walk in.
Because you have NOLA suspension.
no suspension.
Fucking
Very good.
hooking through their skin and
Oh,
suspending
man,
from it.
They're sick, man.
You have
They're sick.
the Reverend sticking
Reverend
shit
be
up his
dangerous.
nose, damaging his nipples.
Shout out to the Reverend who's toughing it out in Miami right now for the hurricane.
He said, he was like, I am staying for this goddamn storm.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his wife's like, I'm leaving.
I'm in L.A. How about that?
Peace. I'll be
Yeah.
over here if you need me.
You have Sideshow Matt,
Sideshow
who,
Matt.
who
Yes.
we have had on here before doing strongman things.
Cog plays.
Cog,
Yes.
Cog has
Their
been on here.
traditional
I,
spot the
I
Sunday
feel like
before.
everyone that is involved in House of Shock we have had on this show. Strange.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird that you're wearing a shirt as well. don't
I
how
know.
you-
It's like,
It-
I gotta...
It says crew on the side.
No, what? Oh, yeah, right there.
How'd you get that? Because that's like limited edition.
It's like I was born or my parents got married there.
It's weird. That's weird.
It's weird that they got married there.
It is kind of weird that they got married there.
No marriage is safe at House of Shock, by the way.
There's been some marriages that have
Some successful ones.
some good ones.
Yes.
We've done a lot of marriages there.
Yes, a
I
lot
got
of
married at the House of Shock.
yes.
I did. So there you go.
The
There's that.
one thing I did hear to close it out, you'd mentioned a couple times Lord Belial.
Don't know the guy. Don't know him.
Can you tell us something about him?
We've been in the same area, but we seem to keep missing each other. I know that the guy is very intimidating.
Yes.
You know, first of all, I mean, the size of him, you know, and then he's got this voice. I can't even do it. I can't even do an impression of him. It's way lower than what I do for me. But yeah, he's he's like this creature from like hell, and he's got the power of pyrotechnics and Satan, bro.
Who's his general?
Oh, you're talking about General Abaddon.
Yeah.
It's weird because you never see General Abaddon and Larry Bro in the same room. You might see General Abaddon and me in the same room, but General Abaddon is never in the same room with Larry Bro. I don't understand.
Yes.
But so he's Lord Belial's general, his sergeant at arms, and everybody that comes to House of Shock.
Who's the black guy
army.
that's randomly coming out on the stage and yelling and
The
spouting?
Reverend Leviticus Clark.
Yeah.
No relation to the actual Leviticus Clark. From whatever his name is. His name is Leviticus Clark. Yeah, he's just a random black guy that comes out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not scripted. Totally unscripted.
Totally unscripted.
unscripted.
He just comes out and
Okay.
protests every year. Somehow he gets on stage and is
I
coordinated
do
with music and stuff.
I do have one last question. Every Halloween night, everyone conspires against Lord Belial to prank almost
The Dick Off Show.
the Dick Off Show.
Yeah.
Out of all 25 years, with the years that you do have the actual stage show, and they actually pranked you, what was your favorite one?
Prank me?
Yeah, with pranking. No, not. Well, when you were there, I'm sure
Oh,
you
I
were
was there, I
there
saw it.
watching Lord Belial. I mean, if you
Yeah.
weren't there, I mean, you're wearing a House of Shock shirt, so I'm sure you're there.
I was there, yeah.
What was your favorite Dick Off show?
Man, there have been a bunch. Levi's usually the king of dicking off Lord Belial. We had one show where he flew in over the crowd on a guide wire, standing on a metal cross. So he rode across to the stage, jumped off the stage, did backflips. He did that in an army outfit one night and kind of talked to me like it was, what's his name from...
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
A drill
Dover
sergeant?
Pyle.
Yeah.
He's like talking to me like the sergeant from that. And he's come out dressed like a banana before, which is pretty funny.
I think my favorite one was
It Elvis. He came out as Elvis.
I think my favorite one was the Little Abaddon, Little Belial.
Oh, Mini Abaddon, Mini Belial?
Yeah.
Well, I think the part about that is that Abaddon didn't know that I had a Mini Belial. The secret's out, y'all. I am Lord Belial.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
The
What?
scoop just got it.
Yes,
we got it. We got it
We
on
got
air
it.
right now.
Exclusive, right here.
Exclusive.
God.
25 years.
25 years we've kept that secret.
Jeez.
All it took is
The weight
the
is
scoop.
off his shoulders.
All it took was the scoop. Man,
Magical.
I feel better. I feel good, man. I feel really good to get that off my chest.
That's great.
It's like the bane of my existence. Wait a second. Is that my
What?
Aztec mountain?
No, that is not yours.
Did you fashion mine after that?
Mm-hmm.
Cheater.
What are you talking about?
The one that you made for me.
I made two.
You made two?
Yeah, one for my school and then one for Pickle.
Okay.
And then I dropped it off on his porch with a note inside of it because we were doing a character at the time before we got video and all that. And it was the Lone Pickle.
The Lone Pickle.
Which I don't know why you would make one for me because I'm just meeting you just now.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've never met you before.
I've never met you before, even though your parents got married in House of Shock.
Yes, you've known my parents. You don't know me.
I don't know you.
No.
It seems like I know you, though.
No, you don't.
I'm sorry. What are we doing now? Devin.
Well, we're gonna take a break real
We're
quick.
gonna take a break?
Take a
Good,
little
'cause I
break,
need
and
to-
then we're gonna be back with What's the Plot?
Yes, more. What's the plot?
Horror version.
Horror version.
No, I'm afraid I'm not gonna know them.
I've gone through the list of the top 100 horror films,
Oh, well then it's
and I've
crap.
taken the plot and I've switched out character names. So instead of like I'm not using Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So instead of chainsaw, like blah 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 was killed with chainsaw. Take out the chainsaw. Blunt object. Oh, the object was sawed in half by object.
Okay.
You take out any revealing names. So a scientist instead of blah blah blah. So a scientist makes something.
I don't know what that is. What's a scientist make something?
I don't know. Scientist. There's so many movies.
many
it could be
scientists.
Reanimator.
It
I don't
could be.
know.
Wow, that's a good one.
There's so many
Please don't ask me anyone
options.
I don't know, so I'm not embarrassed on national TV.
I picked a few for you. That, and if you do get wrong, I'm just gonna shake my head at you and wag my finger.
No, not the wag of the finger.
So we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be back with more of The Scoop.
Oh, and thank you, Ross, for coming on for this interview.
Yeah, that was anticlimactic, but thank you.
No problem.
The House of Shock Haunted House, celebrating 25 years of fear.
Come on, 25 years! You got your ticket? You got your ticket?
Rated the most intense haunted attraction in the country, New Orleans, you had to see it to believe it. The House of Shock Haunted House, 25th anniversary with our all-new attraction, Conti Street's House of Wax. See Louisiana's most grisly and tormented past recreated in lifelike wax. And backed by popular demand, laugh in the dark. 3 events. Get your tickets right now. HouseOfShock.com. The House of Shock. You haven't lived until we've scared you to death.
All right, and we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And we're back.
All right, so today for the Scoop Challenge, we're going to be doing What's the Plot?
What's the plot?
Horror version.
Horror.
All right. So would you say you know a thing or two about horror films, Mr. Karpelman?
I would say that I know horror films. I wouldn't say I know a thing or two about them.
Also, well, I mean, earlier you said you're more a comedy guy.
Yeah, I'm more of a comedy guy.
Okay. There were a few comedy horror films I wanted to put in here, but I was like, I don't know.
I don't usually like my comedy and my horror to mix.
Yeah, I kind of
I'm
do.
like OCD on that. Keep your peas and potatoes.
Pickle, do you know anything about horror films?
I've
You know
seen a
thing or
horror
two.
movie or two.
The classics.
Yeah.
Okay.
How old are you, Pickle?
I am 39.
All right, so, okay.
He
So
should-
You might have an edge on me on like some of the 90 ones.
All right. So, out of 15 questions, you guys ready to do this?
First one to what
Yeah.
wins?
First one to
Are we
whoever has the
dinging
most
in?
points.
Are
Whoever
we
has
dinging
the,
in?
Huh?
Are we dinging in like when we know the plot? How does it work? Tell me the rules of the game.
Whoever's the first one to get my attention and answer correctly, just shout out. Just shout out.
Shout it out.
Okay.
Yeah, if I'm halfway through the plot and you're like, boom, whoever's the first
Okay.
one.
All right.
Now, if both of you say it at the same time, both of you get the same point.
Okay.
Points go both
This is
of you.
1 point.
Just 1 point.
All right.
1 point per thing. All right, first plot. Now that Chris and his girlfriend, Rose, have reached the meet the parents milestone of dating, she invites him for a weekend getaway upstate. At first, Chris...
Get out.
What was that?
Get out.
Yep, Ross.
No, he was giving you an order to
Get out.
Get out.
Yeah, get
Just
out.
leave.
No, that is it.
That was actually really good.
Yeah.
It was directed by Jordan Peele from Key and Peele, which is the only reason why I know it. Because I watched that.
Ready for the next one?
Si, senor.
A secretary steals $40,000 from her employer in order to run away with her boyfriend and is overcome by exhaustion during a heavy rainstorm. Traveling on the back roads to avoid the police, she stops for the night at the ramshackle...
Psycho.
Ross again.
Yay. I'm not embarrassed.
The mysterious vampire-like man summons another man to a remote castle in the mountains. The eerie man seeks to buy a house. After the main character reveals his true nature, the other man struggles to escape the castle.
Dracula?
Pickle?
I'm going to say Interview with a Vampire.
Neither of you get the points. It's Nosferatu.
I was going to say Nosferatu.
Oh.
I didn't know you were going back that far.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Silent films. A brilliant scientist was able to build something assembled from parts. Once he realized how destructive his creation had become, he abandoned the creature.
Frankenstein.
Pickle is correct.
Boom.
Damn.
Pickle gets on the board.
All right. Shit, what's the score?
It is 2 Ross, 1 Pickle.
Oh, man.
This
close.
next one, I don't think either of you watched it, but the idea of it is fucking hilarious.
All right.
After a carefree teenager sleeps with her new boyfriend for the first time, she learns that she is the latest recipient of a fatal curse that is passed from victim to victim via sexual intercourse. Death. She learns it will creep inexorably, slowly toward her as either a friend or a stranger. Her friends don't believe her seemingly paranoid ravings until they too begin to see phantom assassins and band together to help her flee or defend herself.
Well, you said sexual thing, so I thought of Teeth. Have you ever seen that?
I'm pretty sure, I think it's from the same people, but is not Teeth. Because
That wasn't my guess, but
yeah.
I mean, it kind of sounds like Final Destination too.
It's a sexually transmitted curse, an STC.
An STC. I don't know, but I want to watch this movie.
No, yeah, when's it coming on? What is it?
Do you guys give up?
Yeah.
Because it pretty much says it in the plot. Like I think I
All right,
said
well, read
its
the plot
name.
again.
Hold on. I used a different word, creep. When someone's creeping behind you, constantly creeping, it's
Stalking.
it follows.
Follows.
That's the name.
That's
It
new.
follows. I think it came out in 2015, 2016.
Yeah, it's new.
Yeah, it's a newish-
it was on
new.
my list to watch, but
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So it's good? Have you seen it?
Yes, I like it. There's a few continuity errors, but the idea, it's just so fucking creepy because the thing can take any form. At one point, she's a naked chick. The next thing, she's a 7 fucking foot tall dude coming through the door. That is the creepiest fucking part to me because you never know what she looks like.
Right.
She could be an old lady, could be a school teacher, but always
Is it
walks the
always
same
a
speed.
Female though,
No, dude, female, it takes on any form.
but the spirit you refer to as a she. So is it a?
Well, she takes form. He
Oh,
takes
because-
form. Like it, whatever. It can take any form of a person.
Oh, because
And
they got it through sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once that person's dead, it starts following the person before, and it's just this long line of,
Okay. Good.
yeah. Okay, next one. When an artist learns that a midget has an inheritance, she marries the lovesick, diminutive performer, all the while planning to steal his fortune and run off with her lover, a strong man. When his friends and fellow performers discover what
Freaks.
is going...
Freaks.
Yes.
Man.
A man and his girlfriend and 3 pals drive into the woods to a cabin for a fun...
Evil Dead.
Huh?
Evil Dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Evil Dead. Sorry.
The Evil Dead. The first one.
Yes. Although
Um,
the second one followed the same format.
Yeah, pretty much. They sum up the entire first one in like 2 minutes and then go from there. A desperate group of individuals take refuge in an abandoned house when corpses begin to leave the graveyard in search of fresh human
Night of the
bodies.
Living Dead.
Man, Pickle, what the fuck's going on,
Yeah.
man? What the fuck's going on?
He's
I'm-
faster than I am.
Man, I'm doing better than I thought I would.
On a cold night in 1963, 6-year-old boy brutally murdered his 17-year-old sister. He was sentenced and locked away for 15 years.
Halloween.
Yep. There's no names.
Yeah.
Nothing revealing. Several Midwestern teenagers fall prey to a disfigured midnight mangler who preys on the teenagers in their bed.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Pickle.
Yeah, you got the edge on that one.
When the scientist completes his teleportation device,
The Fly.
Damn.
How about that?
a man and his family are trapped in a hotel. The son is seeing things. The dad has writer's block and then starts
Shining.
terrorizing. Yep. That one I just did on the fly. I was like, here's my summary. A girl starts acting odd. You know, going through that, levitating and speaking
The
tongues.
Exorcist.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into my era.
Strange and creepy happenings beset an average California family when ghosts commune with them.
Poltergeist.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, that's a good one, man. Good get.
Instead of TV, I put home appliance.
What did you say about the Indian burial ground?
Hmm?
You didn't talk about the Indian burial ground?
No, I just completely put that out.
Because it's built on the Indian.
I was gonna say home appliance, initially friendly and
It's
playful.
not an Indian it's a cemetery.
They built it on a cemetery.
Yeah, yeah.
The spirits turn
cemetery is
unexpectedly
Indian.
menacing, and daughter goes missing. Parents turn in. Blah 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 blah. All right, this last one is a odd film, and it's a sentence long. Like when I looked up the plot, I didn't even have to change anything about it. A murdered family's patriarch seeks revenge upon a coven that captures souls and worships Satan.
The Omen.
And
Read it one more time.
a murdered family's patriarch seeks revenge upon a coven that captures souls and worships Satan. Bum, 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 bum.
Murdered family's patriarch
Seeks revenge
seeks revenge against a coven that worships Satan.
that captures souls and worships Satan.
Captures souls and worships Satan.
Capture souls.
Pickle, you can keep guessing. Just keep guessing.
So I think the key here is the murdered family's
Yeah.
patriarch. So the dad of the family
The dad of a dead murdered family.
seeks a satanic cult that captures souls. What era?
It's a classic.
Okay.
It's in color, but is I would say, I think, low budget. It takes place in Arizona.
Man. Is this one I get a wag of the finger if I don't know?
You're getting the wag of the finger, mister.
This is the wag of the finger question.
Shit, then I'm not guessing.
This
it.
movie is played nightly at the House of Shock on the screen.
Oh, you're a dick for saying that. Fuck.
The Devil's
The
Reign.
Devil's Reign. There was a band named it.
Disappointed in you.
Shit.
Wag of the finger.
Man.
All right, let's
You
tell these.
suck.
Neither of you. All right. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for Ross.
Ah.
And
3 for me.
3 for Pickle. And 2 for me, because you guys couldn't get them.
You don't get points for that. You know
I get
that.
2. Nosferatu and Devil's Reign.
That means I didn't come in last place.
That's right.
Yay!
Screw you, Devin.
Yeah. And that's What's the Plot horror version.
Horror.
Again, I want to thank Ross for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Be sure to go check out the House of Shock. It'll be going from September 30th to
October 31st, Halloween.
Halloween night.
Um,
It's a good one. 25th anniversary. I'm really proud of the stuff that we've done. It's the Wax Museum is going to be really cool. We got the
Should be
clowns
going
and
out
the
there this
3D
week.
thing, and-
Take some photos.
Oh, you're going to go? It's almost ready.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get the Morgus set tomorrow.
Sweet. And got the wax people up in there and shit.
Oh yeah, we got some other wax figures made as well. Well, wax figures
For your the parade
for
float.
for the Mardi Gras float, because we're leaving the parade next year. Crew of Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
So we're right after Rex. We're
Yes.
float number 1, right after Rex, and it's a music themed parade this year. So we're bringing back all the New Orleans. We got Dr. John wax figure. We got a Lil Wayne wax figure.
Nice.
We got Mahalia Jackson. We got Louis Armstrong. It's gonna be killer. So we're gonna put those in the front of the wax museum.
Sweet.
Very cool. Thank you.
25
Yes,
years.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Be sure to check
All
them
right.
out. HouseOfShock.com. House of Shock on Facebook.
Instagram, Twitter,
Snapchat.
All that crap.
motherfucking Pinterest and shit.
Are we on Pinterest? I don't even know what that is.
It's you pin House of Shock
Pin
and
things to
yeah,
it?
you pin things.
You actually take a pin to the internet?
Yeah, they on Tumblr and shit.
Oh,
They're
we're
on YouTube.
We're on Tinder.
You're on Tinder. Freaking YouTube.
All right.
YouTube, yes.
Yes, YouTube.
Yes.
Thank
Make
you.
sure to check them out. They're going to be uploading videos in the next couple of weeks promoting the 25th year of House of Shop.
Yes. 25 years. So, again, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of The Scoop.
I want some pork roast.
Off on this one. Well, I hate to say it, but finally, after show challenge that you weren't last in.
Yes. I am very proud that I was not last in it.
Technically, yeah.
Technically, I was.
To a technicality, but I'll say I was in last just because you guys guessed most of them. I didn't make it hard enough, I guess. I'll just have to improve on it for next time.
But good time. Again, thanks to Ross for joining us.
It was an honor.
I want to encourage everyone to please go check out House of Shock. They'll be celebrating their 25th year this year.
25 years of shocking the local New Orleans scene.
And you can find out more information about him at houseofshock.com, facebook.com/House
House
of
of
Shock,
Shock, Instagram House of Shock, Snapchat House of Shock, Twitter House of Shock. It's
YouTube House of Shock.
House of fucking Shock.
So, yes, please go check them out.
Make sure you get your House of Shock memorabilia.
Yes.
Like I got right here.
You can also check out picklescoop.com where you can get more information about the show, get merch. You can subscribe to us on iTunes or your favorite podcast app. Be sure to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Scoop Show.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter at P-Scoop Podcast. If you're watching this video, go ahead and click the subscribe, the like, the comment.
And report.
And share. No, just share.
Okay. Not report.
I'm going to beat this into you, Devin.
Okay. I keep thinking you report the video.
No.
For how good of a video it is.
I know that this is your military
You report it.
training. That's
You report
if
it.
you see something, say something. But
Yes.
no,
No.
don't report
Okay.
something when watching our
Like,
video.
share, subscribe, and comment the video.
Yes.
Show your friends. And if you have, if you're a local band who wants to come on the show,
Yes, please hit us up.
if
You
you're
can go
a
to the
sideshow
website
act,
and you can get our contact info or email us picklescoop@gmail.com.
yeah, if you have some odd talent that you can't get on a network television show, come on our network, The Scoop,
Yes.
and we will let you shine, give you your 15 minutes of fame.
Well, hopefully we'll give them about an hour.
Yeah, it'll be about an hour interview.
So, Devin, where can people check you out?
You can check me out at www.devinflamingo.com. You can check me out on Facebook, Facebook/F13M1NG0. You can check me out on Instagram, Devin Flamingo, all lowercase, all one word. And that's about it. Oh, also on YouTube.
So, again, thank you for tuning in. Till the next show, Scoop out.